What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Triple Play Fantasy YouTube channel. As always, I am your host, Kevin Coleman, at @theboys_22 on Twitter is where you can find me. And today's episode is going to be a quick little episode and video, but I wanted to talk about Cam Newton's fantasy outlook. And, Cam Newton just got re-signed by the Panthers, right? He's coming home. Cam Newton's someone that I appreciate more than most off the field. He's an amazing human being for what he does for kids and his programs that he has and all his foundations. I think that he has historically been kind of looked over as the kind of quarterback that he's been, and he gets a lot of shit from a lot of people that I don't like. I don't appreciate kind of what's going there. But I want to look at it from a fantasy perspective this season. So he's getting to the Panthers, he's had some quarterback troubles. We've seen Darnold been in and out. He's hurt. PJ Walker's definitely not that guy either. So Cam's coming in. I just want to look at kind of what can we expect from him the rest of the season. I know it's late in the year, but hey, he could increase some value. We're going to look at it from a redraft and a dynasty perspective and talk about some trades that have happened and what you see there. So when we're looking at in our perspective of like what he finished last year. So let's take a look. Everybody, I think, seems to think he was not great last year. And while his numbers don't really indicate greatness, it does indicate fantasy points. He had 231 last year. He was QB 20 on the board, 16.54 average fantasy points per game last year. He threw for 2,600 yards, 8 touchdowns. He did have 10 interceptions. And I know most people are going to look at that. But he does something that everybody loves, and that's rushing the ball. He had 12 rushing touchdowns last year and 592 yards, I believe, 15 games played. I mean, you look at him, he's that Konami code quarterback / running back that maybe they need. And he did it well with the Panthers. And to me personally, if you're looking at what you want from that position, if you can score a rushing touchdown and have a throwing touchdown, then you're okay, especially if you're in leagues where you need a quarterback drastically. So for me personally, if you look at redraft, I think he's worth an ad. I mean, in reality, I think he's one of those guys that you can grab on your redraft team. And if you need that backup quarterback and maybe plug and play depending on the matchups and see how he is, I truly do believe he's worth an ad there. I know in most dynasty leagues, when we talk about what he can kind of accomplish, I know he's still out there in dynasty leagues because I've seen him in my personal leagues. Right now, and the most recent trade I could find for him, and actually there's two. There's one I found and one I've seen in a league. So he went for a 2023 second-round pick for Cam and in a third in 2022. So they basically combined a pick with Cam and got a 2023 second. And I like that. The 2023 class is going to be more valuable for that second round pick. In reality, I really feel like the first 4 or 5 picks is almost like a late first in the 2023 class. So if you can try to grab those 2023 picks right now, I think that's value for Cam, who was a dead asset. So you get rid of a dead asset for a 2023 pick, a second round pick. That's an incredible deal. If there's something out there like that, go do that, because I think that's where the value lies. Now, what I will say too is if you have them in Superflex and Dynasty, right now the quarterback situation can be very, very troublesome for a lot of guys out there. I know people starting Mike White. I know people starting different groups. If you have Cam and you're a contender, I don't mind holding him, to be honest. And like I said, he's got that rushing upside. Now, if you can get a 2023 second, if you're a mid-tier, the lower-tier player, fine. Maybe he balls out the first couple of games that he plays if he gets the start, and then you can maybe add that. Maybe you get a little higher of a pick. But I think right now is a good time maybe to cut your losses with Cam if you're a rebuilding team. If you can really get a 2023 second, I would say 2022 second is not as valuable, but go out there and try to play around on that trade market. So I saw that one. I also saw Cam, and I think it was like a third for Ben. So maybe that's a weird deal to me on all the way around, but maybe they think Cam's going to finish up the season stronger. You got Ben, maybe a contending team does. Kind of a weird flip-flop, but you get that added pick. So if you could do that for Cam and get that value, that's fine. I realistically, I look at Cam as finishing he's a low-end QB2 in these formats, especially in Superflex leagues. But if he can rush, that's where you get that upside at. And that's what I think we have that. Now, the other guys on his team that I think this does help too, first of all, Christian McCaffrey's back. We know that. I think he's going to target the hell out of McCaffrey. I think McCaffrey's going to have a great end of the year. And if you can go grab McCaffrey right now and go for that dynasty run in that, I think you could do that. I think you have that right there. McCaffrey's price is still way higher than what – there's no buying low on McCaffrey. Although I will say I saw a deal for Baker, Javonte, and Jalen in a Superflex league. That's pretty fair value if you think Javante's there. I still want CMC on that side. So maybe there is kind of a dip in his market. But right now, with Cam coming back, I expect CMC to be a running back one in this offense. He's going to get the targets there. They have that comfortability with him. Go get CMC. The other guy that I think this does help, DJ Moore has been a wide receiver one the first couple of months of the season. I would say the first 4 weeks. He looks great. He was getting peppered with targets, and then he's kind of fallen off a little bit. And part of that's because of QB play. We know that. CMC leaving, that hurt him too. I think Cam targets him well. The two guys I don't think this hurts is CMC and Moore. I think those guys are going to get the targets in this offense in there. I do think that there's a more buy window right now. I don't know about giving up a first for DJ. You might have to just based on the market and where it's going. But if you can maybe get rid of a 2022 second, or excuse me, a 2022 first that's late, I'll take DJ Moore, in my opinion. I think that's an okay value for Moore, and especially where he's going to get the targets later on. I think that he's going to be better than any late pick you're going to get in that 2022 first. So if he's there, I'll take that all day. And I think Cam will elevate his play too. Now, Robbie Anderson's a different breed. He has a terrible contested catch rate right now. I think it's like 35%. He's not playing well. I don't really see it impacting him either way. I don't think he's going to get any better. He might get maybe worse, maybe not. I don't necessarily know where that's going to be. I still believe in Terrace Marshall from a dynasty perspective. I think that he can still be that guy when we're talking about, hey, can he kind of break out and do that? He's obviously not had a great year, but when you're looking at what his value is right now, it's not amazing. He went for Zach Ertz straight up in a trade recently. He went for Damian Harris, which depending on what you think of Damian, I think Damian is a very hostile asset to have unless you're contending this year. I think Ramondre Stevenson is going to be there, and I don't think Bill will pay Damian Harris, so I don't think by 2023 he's going to be on that team. So if you can get maybe a Terrace Marshall, build through your wide receivers, you believe in that. The Panthers are probably going to move on from quarterbacks next year anyway, so you're not going to have to really worry about the volatility of that position. So I would maybe take that. But as far as Cam goes, I think he could be a solid QB2 if he gets that rushing upside that we like to see. I don't think this hurts CMC or DJ Moore and those other guys. It is what it is at this point. I don't think there's that much there. So I appreciate you guys tuning in. Go take a kick on Cam. If you're a contender, you might want to solidify that depth. Maybe you can get him for cheaper, maybe a third. If you're not contending, maybe you use Cam for some trade bait. You add a pick to it and you get a 2023 second. Try to grab a 2023 second. Trust me, that is the class that you want. That is the class that you have. So I appreciate you guys tuning in. As always, hit that like button, subscribe button. We really appreciate it. We're over 1,200 subscribers on YouTube. We can't do it without you guys. So I appreciate you guys. Until next time, I'll see you later.